Attention passionate Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Pittsburgh Steelers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Pittsburgh Steelers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. Buckle up because what we're hearing right now is nothing short of a seismic shift in the AFC North. It's the kind of move that could define this season and beyond for the Steelers, and it hinges on a trade that's been bubbling under the surface for a while, but now it's finally coming to the forefront. According to sources close to the league, echoing Adam Schefter and Diana Rossini, a blockbuster trade is imminent, and the target is none other than Amon-Ra St. Brown, the dynamic slot receiver for the Detroit Lions. Yes, you heard that right. The Steelers are eyeing St. Brown, and the trade details are reportedly already being negotiated with Detroit, involving a second-round pick in 2026, a fourth-round pick in 2027, and a cornerback prospect to sweeten the deal. This trade could be a game-changer, especially with the NFL trade deadline looming on November 4th. Detroit, sitting at 4-1 but with a secondary that's been leaking points, allowing 28 points per game, has been aggressively chasing draft picks to bolster their defense. They're in a rebuild mode on that side of the ball, and the Steelers, sitting at 3-1 with a hunger for playoff success, see in St. Brown the perfect piece to elevate their offense, which has been somewhat stagnant in recent weeks. It's a bold move from Pittsburgh because they're known for their tough, balanced teams, but this move shows a clear intent. They want to go all in and maximize their Super Bowl window, especially with a weapon like St. Brown. Now, let's take a closer look at St. Brown himself because, at 26 years old, he's not just a good receiver, he's a true Swiss watch on the field. Over his career, he's racked up 412 receptions, nearly 758 yards and 35 touchdowns, and he's shown consistent high-level performance since 2022 with an average PFF receiving grade of 91. And this season, it's no different. Up to week 2, he's caught 14 passes for 162 yards and 2 touchdowns, averaging 11.6 yards per game, with an EPA per target of 0.91, which puts him in elite company, better than many other top receivers like Chase. His yards after catch, explosive. He averages 6.2 yards per route, compared to the league average of 4.8, making him a real yardage generator after the catch, a guy who can turn a simple route into a big play. And what's even more impressive, he's been largely healthy in 2025, with only a minor ankle injury in week 1, and he's shown remarkable durability when compared to other receivers who are often sidelined by injuries. In many ways, St. Brown is the anti-injury guy. His reliability and efficiency make him a perfect fit for Pittsburgh's offensive system, which has been searching for that consistent, dependable slot receiver to take some pressure off George Pickens and help open up the field. Now, compare that to Detroit, where they're dealing with cap issues, just $12 million in free space, and a priority on extending Goff and Hutchinson. Meanwhile, their secondary is struggling, allowing over 1-2 sacks per game opposite their other cornerbacks. Detroit's gamble is clear. They're willing to sacrifice some immediate stability for draft picks that could help rebuild their defense. It's a risky move, especially with a team that's just 4-1 and sitting comfortably in the playoff picture. But they're betting on the future, possibly thinking they can plug and play other pieces or develop young talent with those extra draft assets. It's reminiscent of some of the bold rebuilds we've seen before, but it's also a sign of how aggressive Detroit wants to be this year. For Pittsburgh, though, this is a golden opportunity. They're sitting with about $6.5 million in cap space, but they're prepared to absorb an $18 million hit for St. Brown because they see his potential as a true game-changer. Think about it. Adding St. Brown could boost their total offensive yards significantly, with projections estimating around 350 yards this season, which is about 250 more than what they're currently getting from George Pickens alone. His presence would elevate the entire passing attack, especially considering his ability to turn short routes into YAC tornadoes. His efficiency, with a projection of 7.1 yards per route, would turn Pittsburgh's offense into a more dynamic, unpredictable unit. And that's crucial, because the Steelers have been averaging around 21 points per game this season, which is respectable but not spectacular. Adding a weapon like St. Brown could turn them into an offensive hurricane, similar to what the Chiefs experienced with Hollywood Brown last year, who boosted their EPA overall by plus 140. Imagine what St. Brown could do, especially in the red zone and in clutch moments. And this isn't just about the regular season. The Steelers have their sights set on a deep playoff run, and St. Brown's postseason numbers, averaging around 4 receptions per game in simulated playoff scenarios, show how he can be the X factor needed to turn tight games into victories. His ability to make those tough catches and fight for extra yards could be the difference in close playoff contests. If this move goes through, it would be a real statement that Pittsburgh is not just content with simply making the playoffs, but aims to go all the way, perhaps even contending for their 8th Super Bowl. The odds already favoring them at plus 2,500 for the Super Bowl. But after acquiring a player like St. Brown, those odds could drop significantly, maybe to plus 1,400, rivaling some of the division's top contenders like the Ravens, who are currently at plus 700. Now, let's take a quick moment to reflect on what this means historically. The Steelers have always been a team that values smart, strategic moves, building through the draft, developing talent, and making calculated trades. This potential acquisition of St. Brown fits perfectly into that mold. It echoes past moves like when they acquired proven playmakers to push towards Super Bowl glory. And the impact on the AFC North, well, it could be enormous. If Pittsburgh manages to add this weapon, it not only boosts their offense, but also shifts the division's balance of power. The Ravens, for instance, might have to respond quickly if they see St. Brown lighting up Pittsburgh's offense in key matchups. It's a chess game, and the Steelers are making a bold move to checkmate their rivals. Looking ahead, if this trade happens, it could also be reminiscent of the legendary moments in Steelers history. Think of how a key acquisition can spark a dynasty. The comparison to a pivot like Steve Young in San Francisco, or even a future Hall of Famer stepping into the black and gold, is not out of the question. St. Brown, with his route-running, YAC ability and reliability, could be the piece that finally pushes the Steelers over the top, especially as they aim to end a long drought since their last Super Bowl victory in the 2008 season. The Steelers have always been about resilience, grit, and making the most of their opportunities. This move could be the one that redefines their identity in 2023 and beyond. And folks, just imagine the scene in Heinz Field if this trade goes through. The fans, already passionate, would rally around St. Brown in a heartbeat. His jersey would become a hot commodity, and his plays would be the highlight reels every week. The synergy with Kenny Pickett, who's been developing nicely, could reach new heights. The chemistry between those two, combined with what Freiermuth can bring as a reliable tight end, could make Pittsburgh's offense one of the most feared in the league. And as the playoff picture begins to take shape, this addition could be the difference maker, the spark that ignites a postseason run. So, in summary, this potential trade is not just a move for the present, but a statement for the future. It's about the Steelers asserting themselves as serious contenders, willing to make bold decisions to chase that elusive 8th Super Bowl. Detroit is trying to rebuild, and Pittsburgh is trying to cement their dominance, and this trade could be the catalyst for that. The AFC North is about to get even more competitive, and Pittsburgh is positioning itself to lead the charge. The NFL landscape might be about to change, and as Steelers fans, we should be excited because this could be the start of something special. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Pittsburgh Steelers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential move? Do you believe acquiring St. Brown would be the key to finally unlocking that Super Bowl window? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Steelers. This is the kind of move that could define a franchise's season, and we want to know if you're as excited as we are. Do you see this as the perfect fit? Or do you think Pittsburgh should look elsewhere? Whatever your thoughts, share them with us. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, analysis, and breaking news on the Steelers and everything NFL. So stay tuned, Keep that passion alive, and let's see how this story unfolds. Because one thing is certain, this is a defining moment in Steelers history, and you're right here with us to witness it.